Hi, I'm Yekai, and today we'll be talking about imagination. So what is imagination? Well, put simply, it is the brain's ability to create concepts out of things that are not present to the senses. So let's talk about Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, two of the most successful book series in the world. And what do they have in common? They are all rich in imagination and fantasy. Imagination was something that played a huge role in our lives, and the imagination of the authors that we read took us to countless fantastical places and spun together many of the stories we grew up loving. But yet imagination in this day and age has changed drastically. No longer is imagination used simply for storytelling purposes. Nowadays, the role and function of imagination is so diverse that it serves to not only allow audiences to view things in a whole new light, but also politicizes events and pushes agendas to the audience. Take, for example, The Life of Pi by Yann Martel. In it is hinted that the animals on the boat with Pi were but a figment of his imagination. In reality, the animals were a symbol of real humans, his mother, a cook, and various other characters. And what did the tiger represent? Himself. The animals were meant to mask the atrocities committed on the boat. The death, murder, pain, and suffering could then be justified as the work of wild beasts, not humans. Pi's vivid imagination of the humans as animals on the boat allows readers to come and understand that Pi's inability to cope and deal with the cruelty he sought and inflicted. In doing so, it reveals a new perspective of human nature, not one of determination and grit to survive an ordeal which Pi has just gone through, but one of cruelty, murder, and primal savagery that has allowed Pi to do so. Hence, the imagination of Pi has allowed readers to see human nature in a darker, more twisted light. Furthermore, this new perception of human nature is something that strays very far from mainstream perception that human nature is inherently kind, good, and overall made in God's image. Thereby, the imagination of Pi has allowed us to see such a crucial aspect of our lives from a whole new angle and in a whole new light. Another example would be the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert's colourful imagination not only attracts audiences, but also often pushes a hidden agenda or perspective through comedy and satire. In wake of the Florida school shooting, he commented that if guns are bestowed by God, then we would have to update the Sistine Chapel. True to his word, Stephen proceeded to feature a photo of an updated Sistine Chapel. The vivid and yet ironic imagination of a gun which represents destruction and death wielded by God in a sacred place of peace and worship is a satirical mockery of the NRA's belief that as a gift bestowed by God, gun rights cannot be limited. And in doing so, we see the use of imagination pushing a political message across to the viewers, advocating for stricter gun control, something that I never thought imagination could do or achieve. And in essence, this is what imagination is all about. Imagination not only tells us stories and takes us places, but also alters our perception of reality and changes the way we view politics. Imagination is in everything that we do. Indeed, in the coming months when we embark on our IEP project, we will be required to use imagination to think up of possible scenarios and conclusions to our inquiry question. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.